for my hyoid bone, I used tinfoil, and then I used 2 little tops of the Q-tips to put these on. And then for my hyothyroid membrane, I used some straws that I cut up right there. And then for my hyoepiglottic ligament, I used some embroidery thread, and I also use embroidery thread for the thyroepiglottic ligament and for the cricotracheal ligament and for the cricothyroid ligament right here. I used embroidery thread for the true vocal folds and for the false vocal folds, both in there with that. These 2 green straws right here are not part of the structure. All of those are strictly for structural integrity, so not part of the larynx. For my epiglottis and for my thyroid cartilage and for my arytenoid cartilages, I used a paper plate, cut those out. And then I also used tinfoil again for the cricoid cartilage down here. And then I used a toilet paper tube for my trachea. And then for my tracheal rings, I used some plastic little circles that came from a Zin can. So that was that. And then I used electrical tape to tape it all together. Oh, and I guess I used Q-tip tops for the corniculate cartilages too, as well, up there on top of those arytenoid cartilages. And those are all the materials that I used to build my larynx. All right, here is my 3D larynx. At the top, we have the hyoid bone. It has its little things on it. This is an attachment point for some of the tongue muscles. It's the very top of the phonatory system, and this bone is not articulated with any other bones. All right, and then we have this hyothyroid membrane right here, and this is a connection point between the hyoid bone and the thyroid cartilage. And this is the thyroid cartilage right here. And it is the largest cartilage in the larynx. It supports and protects the vocal cords, which are behind it. This is the front, like if it's sitting like this in your throat, this would be the front. And this is like this top part right here would be the Adam's apple, like in a man. That's where that's at. That's where you see that on the thyroid cartilage. Okay, and then we have the cricothyroid ligament right in here between the 2, connecting the thyroid cartilage to the cricoid cartilage. And this just keeps these 2 things from moving too far apart from each other. Connects them together. And so this is the cricoid cartilage, and it's the only cartilage that completely circles the trachea. And it is an attachment point for cricoarytenoid muscles and cricothyroid muscle. And then right here we have our cricotracheal ligament, which connects the cricoid cartilage to the trachea. All right. And then back here, turning this around, so we're looking at the back, inside we have the epiglottis, that is right here, and it sits upright in a vertical position, like at rest when you're breathing. If you're swallowing, it folds over to cover the larynx to protect you from aspirating any of your food or drink. And that is connected to the hyoid bone by the hyoepiglottic ligament right in there, the like yellow looking, connected there to that. And then it's also connected to the thyroid cartilage. Let's see if we can show that with the thyroepiglottic ligament is the one in there, and it's down there in the green right here underneath, connected at the bottom right there. Okay, and then we have the arytenoid cartilages right here. These are these little pieces right here that look like that. I got 2 of them. And they have the cricoid cartilages at the top too. They articulate with each other. The arytenoid cartilages control tension of the vocal cords, and the vocal cords move with them because they are attached to the arytenoid cartilages. And then at the top, like I said, we have the corniculate cartilages right here and right here at the top of these arytenoid cartilages. And they are just attachment points for other ligaments and muscles and cartilages. And then in here, in the purple, underneath, attached to these arytenoid cartilages, we have the true vocal folds. So you're looking in, and you'll see, move that blue out of the way, the purple here and here, connected up. They would be connected up behind this notch in the thyroid cartilage is where those true vocal folds would be connected, and then they extend all the way back to connect to these arytenoid cartilages. And then we have the ventricular or vestibular folds, also known as the false vocal folds, are connected above the true vocal folds. They sit above them. So you're looking at it like this, inside, like down the throat. They are above, like on the outside above them. And they help support and protect the vocal folds and the airway, and they are connected to the thyroid cartilage and the arytenoid cartilages, just like the true vocal folds are. They're just above them. Okay, turn this around. We have our tracheal rings right here. They're C-shaped, as you can see. They don't go all the way around. They're shaped like a C. And they help support the trachea, and they help the trachea move when you're swallowing. And then the brown part right here is our trachea. And the trachea allows the passage of inhaled and exhaled air to the lungs.